I look at it with ours is it's not a single course or class or e-module. It is, what are we doing for pre-assessments? How do you test people with the game to see how they really respond to things? What do they know? How do we build the learning that they're taking and the games there? What is it for the post reinforcement? A week later, a month later, a quarter later, how do we bring back in a game? Maybe it's a trivia game, and that everything is randomized, so nobody gets the same questions in the same order with the answers in the same sequence, but they can play that over and over until they rise to the top independently or as part of a team. And then we can have teams compete against teams. So we have regions, so regions can compete against each other. And so you can get people involved to really learn content and how they apply it in multiple ways. Doesn't have to be just a single e-learning course.
Yeah, and if I may also add a thought around account strategy, my approach is when I outline any course, I look at the content, and if it's many of my sessions, depending on how long the course, I have a 15-minute rule that every 15 minutes of learning, there's going to be something interactive, some element of gamification, something that's fun and interactive. And so when I'm building it, whether e-learning and or live, I look at the overall outline, the storyboard, if you will, and I look at the content and how it's flowing and ask myself, how long have they gone without something interactive? And for me, depending on the length, if it's a shorter course, maybe it's every 8 minutes. If it's a longer course, every 15 minutes. But there's these points in time where, okay, it's time to engage. And then we go back into the more content-heavy content. So I lay that out, and that's very much thought out from the beginning.
And I suspect, Chris, that the activities are actually how to apply the content that was just learned. So they get double reinforcement there. They've learned it, now they have to apply it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to your point, the gamification or activity could vary. It could be any number of things, but there's something's going to happen. It's time out. It's time. It's almost like a break. Now let's apply, reinforce, engage. The whole, people are learn differently. Some, tell, show, do. I mean, some are auditory, visual, tactile. They got to touch it, feel it, do it. And so you got to give them a chance to engage every learner who needs to, to touch all those different learning modalities in a ordered way.
Yep, totally agree.
I'd like to chime in here if I may.
Sure.
So from an instructional designing point of view, if you're thinking about using a common gamification strategy across multiple courses, I think all these courses should have a common or at least similar learning or business goals. And now if you have that, what you can do is you can weave a common story arc or maybe a common theme and apply that across all these different courses so that the learner is already invested to know more about the story arc or the theme. You can also create a gamified learning pathway for the entire curriculum and reward the learners for completing different courses as they move along. So an example comes to mind. We were working on this project that had about 25 hours of learning. And the SMEs were really reluctant on treating the content in a gamified way. To them, it was kind of, messing with the content. They thought it would make light of the content. So instead, what we did is we gamified the entire curriculum with progression from one course to another, completing associated activities. We would reward the learners, would give them badges, put the names on leaderboards, and even give them points for just logging in and completing their daily rituals of just browsing through what they have in store. So we could definitely do that.